G'day, I'm Mark from Self-Sufficient Me, and in this video I chat with Kate DePrimer, a nutritionist expert of over 30 years, about growing ginger and the health qualities associated with this famous herb/spice, and can it really prevent you from chucking up? I hope so. Also, at the end of the video, I'm going to share with you a short story of how an unlikely source or form of ginger cured me when I was out fishing in the deep blue just recently and got a bad case of seasickness. Let's get into it. Probably the most interesting one to taste raw, and that's ginger.
I think when people think of ginger, they think of Thai food. They think of like adding a beautiful sort of spicy kind of element to your food, which, you know, most really just basic cooks use ginger in any of their sort of stir fries and in some of our sweet food as well. But do you know what? I think it's me knowing you, and when we came up and we harvested some of your ginger before, I took it home, I cut it up, dried it out, and I sort of like blitzed it, and so turned it into a beautiful fresh ginger powder. I started throwing that in, you know, foods as well as like some sweet foods, but then into hot water for teas and cold water for like a ginger refresher. I think it's one of those things that it's so universal in all of our foods, and it's so easy to grow. And it, you know, like I can grow it. I mean, the reason why I like being here is Mark's got this beautiful big garden, whereas I've only got like a little deck inner city Brisbane, which is very, very small, but I still manage to actually grow, you know, some ginger and some of these lovely sort of rhizome type vegetables. But yeah, eating it raw or pickled, I think like the Japanese really, they've nailed it when they pickle it, and it's refreshing, it's healthy, but it's also got some very good things for your gut.
It's got amazing antioxidants in it, doesn't it? Oh, that's been known for a long time. Add a little bit of that extra sort of hit and spice in a smoothie.
Yep,
goes
beautiful.
really good in drinks, yeah.
The other thing that ginger is hailed for is this anti-emetic. So this anti-nauseant property, and what it does is it actually sort of works peripherally on your gastrointestinal sort of tract, helping to, I believe, and this is my reading, help emptying the stomach. When you feel nauseous, like, you know, this could be boat sickness, car sickness, train sickness, or morning sickness that we get as women in carrying babies. And this actually, for some women, they find it really, really handy. It's a natural way of kind of helping some of that nauseous feeling.
So, it's true then, is it?
Well,
like, look, if I go out fishing on a boat, because I get chronic.
What do you mean if you go out fishing on a boat? I mean, really, self-sufficing me.
Yes, true. We've got a second channel called Self-Sufficing Me, and James, my son, runs it.
Yes.
I'm a little bit of the front man, but he's going to take over eventually.
Beautiful.
He's a gun fisherman, better than me, better than his old man who supposedly taught him. But anyway, I do get seasick, and that's one of the things I hate it.
Yeah.
But I love fishing.
Yes.
But, you know, I wish it was like gardening. I love gardening, and it's so easy.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I've modified gardening. I garden in raised beds when I can, because it's easier for my back and all my injuries and stuff. But boating, you can't get away with it. You know, you're rocking from side to side, and you've got to take medication. Well, I do. Otherwise, I just throw up everywhere. Actually, that reminds me. It reminds me of my shirt, the Technicoloured yawn.
Now, I hope everyone's not having breakfast, really, because it's just not pleasant.
Yeah.
Or you could actually put some ginger in your breakfast. So, as one of the viewers was saying, they'd put some in smoothies. Absolutely beautiful. So the ingredient in there, there's two things. One's called a ginger roll and one's called a shagol. Now, I am no expert in ginger, so I've had a bit of a read, but it is actually this helping your stomach to empty. When you're feeling rocking and rolling around in your boat, Mark, and feeling very, very sick, which I get motion sickness as well, it's meant to help. Look, you know, during my pregnancies, I was actually quite sick with one of them, and I tried every conceivable form of ginger, and I had to move on to something called Maxilon, which does the same sort of thing, but in a much more heavy-duty way.
And that's medication,
That's
is it?
medication, yeah. But, you know, this would be your first line of defence. So not only does it taste nice, it's refreshing. It actually really does make your breath smell nice too. So it really, it's a lovely thing.
Well, have a smell of this. I plucked this out of the garden just this morning.
Gosh, that's beautiful.
So it's still growing, but you know, coming into winter, it actually has stopped. So it'll stop and it'll eventually die off, and then this will stay in the ground. If you get a really wet winter, it's not good because your ginger can rot over winter,
Okay.
and you'll lose it. So it's best to harvest it, whack it inside in the pantry somewhere. If you're worried that it's going to sprout, put it in a dark place. Don't put any prohibitor on it like the supermarkets do to stop it from sprouting. That's not good for us. And if it does sprout, by the time it's sprouting, it's usually the right time to plant out in your garden next spring anyway. But yeah, like Kate did say, it's very easy to grow ginger. And I'll tell you, this one here, I had some spare ginger from the garden that I forgot, and I'm walking past back up to the house. I think I had to take a phone call or something, and I whacked it in a pot where I'm growing a cherry tree. I'm trialling this cherry tree for a subtropical climate, which is going to be difficult, but we'll see how we go. Anyway, I threw some of these bits in the base of this cherry plant, and lo and behold, it started growing. So I threw some mulch over it. I didn't bury it, and from those little bits of scraps, we've got some excellent ginger that we can try right now.
So this is just raw, straight off
Raw,
the
straight off the rhizome.
See, yum, and that's got that real spice.
Hokey crikey.
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. So, you know, when
That's nature.
oh, isn't it beautiful? Absolutely. And you don't need to change that. Look, do you know what? If you wanted to sort of get a bit bougie, you could put a little bit of like some dark, high cocoa content, chocolate covered ginger.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That
yes.
would be, you know, you could actually sort of serve that. I've had questions in my clinic, is it better to eat raw, pickled, dried, you know, down to a powder, like ground down to a powder? I think they've all got their benefits. If you are grinding down to a powder, you've got a more concentrated form, but I guess you're going to get some vitamins and minerals in there that actually are sort of more, what do you call it, sort of balanced when they've got a water content. So as soon as you dry things, some of your water-soluble vitamins do actually sort of disappear.
Yeah, it changes the form as well.
Yeah, that is just beautiful, just beautiful.
You having more of it?
Oh,
Oh, really? Crikey. I know, I do love ginger, but I have to say, usually when I've got a cold,
yep.
I'll blend it up with some lemon and honey.
Yeah.
A good whack of honey, now that we've got our own beehive. Maybe some juice, something like orange juice, and that will just sort of make it a bit more pleasant. And it's hot, but it's good for you.
But it's absolutely. So,
Yeah.
you know, if anyone has beautiful recipes with ginger in it, you know, share them. I love finding out. I'm not very creative, and I go looking for recipes, but usually the best ones are ones that people share that they've used over and over. Did you want some ginger too?
The dog's just down here.
Can you see?
Hassling us up. You can't see the dog from the main camera, but she's hassling us up from behind.
Yeah, I bet you if she got that ginger in her mouth, she'd know all about it.
Oh yeah. Hey Bella,
No, you'll have like.
try this. So let me tell you the quick story. All right, I was out fishing with my son. It was a fairly ordinary day, meaning that there was a bit of swell going on. I had taken my seasickness tablets, but they just didn't seem to be working. And this has happened to me several times. Now, I have never tried ginger before. I've always thought that ginger was a little bit of a wives' tale to help get rid of seasickness or motion sickness. You can get organic seasickness tablets that are ginger only, and some people swear by them. I've read the reviews online, but I could never bring myself to actually get any or even try just ginger lollies, so I've only just used medication. Anyway, I've opened the esky to get a drink of water, and James had inadvertently packed some ginger beer. Now this was an alcoholic type of ginger beer, and I thought to myself, oh, the last thing I need is alcohol. And then a second thought, well, it is ginger. I can't get any worse. I'm going to spew soon, and that's not going to be good for anyone. And if you get too sick and you keep on throwing up, you know, it gets to that point where you really have to take that person home. So I thought, let's give it a go. I had a few sips. It actually went down fairly well. In pretty quick succession, I knocked back this can of alcoholic ginger beer, and within, I reckon, 2 minutes, I started feeling a bit better. I thought it might have been placebo. And within, I reckon, 5-10 minutes, I felt really good. Like my seasickness was completely gone. And we had a great day out in the water, and it wasn't spoilt by me getting really sick and ending up chundering over the side of the boat. If you guys have had any experience just drinking normal ginger or a ginger smoothie or something like that, or have experienced ginger helping you on the water, I'm sure going to give it another try. Maybe not alcoholic ginger, but you know, maybe I would, because it actually went down pretty well and I don't mind it. But if you've had any experience with ginger and motion sickness and seasickness, let me know in the comments below, and we'll all learn by it, hopefully. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, share the video around, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye for now. Cheers.